Hi guys, welcome back. It's Craig, and today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty World War II. That's right, Call of Duty is now hitting back to a World War II setting, which has been a long time coming because we've all been waiting for a good World War II game for a very, very long time. So before we get right into it, I want to talk about locations. Locations that we've seen in the trailer so far reach all the way from the Normandy beach landings all the way up to the the Battle of the Hurtgen Forest, which is near enough the um, Belgian-German border, and plus it was probably one of the longest battles on a German ground during World War II, and it was the longest single battle for the U.S. Army has ever fought. So that makes an interesting time as well. Also, for most of us who don't dwell in history too much, if you remember correctly from the Band of Brothers television show that came out quite a while back, they actually had some of the Hurtgen Forest battles as well, which was pretty cinematic and quite interesting as well when we were watching the 101st Easy Company Airborne Division doing their stuff there. But now we're going to be playing a U.S. Army unit, so we're going to be the boots on the ground in this one, which we're going to be the 1st Infantry Division, also known as the Fighting First, which have fought very fierce battles all the way from Normandy to basically the Rhine River. So let's think about it there. Which Activision, as I said, have shown off the Normandy beach landings and the Hurtgen Forest. There's plenty more on offer apparently. So talking about settings for the game, one of the developers said we got to take those from the real iconic locations from around the globe, real battles from D-Day to Archen, right? He also talks about the narrative that extends from Normandy to the liberation of Western Europe. So that might be tie-in with the mention earlier of bridge troops. So troops responsible for deploying numerous bridges during the war. They worked all the way all over the world, but practically while the Allies were chasing the Germans' retreat, and the Nazis destroyed everything as they fled to buy more time. So basically, to hold off the end of the Reich. Okay, moving off from the idea of locations, we're actually move on to characters. We're going to talk about two main characters in the 1st Infantry Division, which is Red Daniels and Zussman. So right now there is a large list of characters, and it's interesting to look at what the two playable characters are based on some very real life heroes apparently. So it's all conjecture at the moment, nothing confirmed by Activision, but the names and details line up pretty well, so it's kind of hard to ignore. First, we have Zussman, is a soldier in the 1st Infantry Division, and one of the main characters. Sledgehammer's Michael Condrey as a described him this way basically. Zussman is a Jewish American fighting in Germany, and he becomes captured. And he also goes on to say, I won't tell you the rest of the story because we want the fans to see it, but you can imagine there are some really personal, harrowing moments of the two of them as they grow as humans, as they mature through the war. There is actually a there is actually a Charles L. Sussman listed in the prisoner of war records who was captured and taken to a Stalag 7A POW camp near Munzburg in Germany. He's also the father of Rabbi Lance Jonathan Sussman, who mentioned that Charles received a Bronze Star and other decorations for valor during World War II. What are the odds that Red and his friend, and the other main playable character, ends up rescuing Zussman from the camp, providing a very dramatic narrative story to it? So the other characters seem to be very real bases. Is Rosua. Apologies about the French name, I can't pronounce it. But according to the developer, you'll play as a French resistance woman, adding that where you join the French resistance, a really nice moment. And again, she appears as a real person. So Janine Rassou, I believe her name is, an Allied intelligence agent in occupied France during World War II. So this pretty much is developing into quite an extensive story and a lot of characters that you might get attached to, but primarily this game is staying around the two men in the 1st Infantry Division. So you won't get attached too much, but it'll let you breed and basically see them mature during a war. So that's going to be very interesting to see how boys turn to men, basically. With that in its way, there's also, like as I said before, there's big bridge troops who repair bridges all the way through basically enemy territory that's been captured and whatnot. But this is going to include a global cast, so it won't just be the American infantryman that we'll be playing as. We'll be playing as the French resistance fighter. We'll also be playing as an African American officer in a all-African platoon or regiment, and also the fact that we might be playing as a German as well. But they're not trying to portray the Germans as purely evil, because there is moments of humanity in this game, and as what will happen in World War II as well, from stories and what we've heard from veterans from both sides. But also given the fact that like it's going to be a very dramatic and basically dark version of a World War II game we haven't seen in a very long time, it's also going to link into what would happen. So i.e. let's have a hypothetical that they capture a American Jewish soldier, and depending on what kind of a unit that the German army captured him would be very interesting to see, and how brutal it might get, or how like historically accurate it would get instead of just being around the bush about it. But anyway, that's some of the main points I wanted to talk about. There is the idea of multiplayer as well, which is adding kind of like a social hub from Destiny is my best way to describe it. And hopefully with the idea that Call of Duty is now in the next gen, it's in the basically in a great platform to start changing up its multiplayer, in my opinion. Like, it was quite fun playing like Call of Duty 2 and 3 and whatnot, and even Call of Duty 1 that way. But you know, they have they've had 3 years to develop this game, so hopefully we'll see a change in their multiplayer basically just their multiplayer in general. That's all I have to really say about the multiplayer. There's confirmed Nazi zombies, of course, but that's not the main concern at the moment. But that's my overall view on the game right now and what I'm excited for. So at the moment I'm 50-50 on this. I really want to see how this game turns out and develops, because it's been a long time since we've had a World War II game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and plus if you want to hear me talk about more about different games that are coming out, leave some game recommendations in the comment section. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you next time.
Welcome to the Bloody First. You're a long way from Texas, farm boy.